Jayson.
Jayson, can you just take us through what you saw there in the final play regulation when you guys brought the ball up without the timeout?
Yeah, just kind of made the wrong read, went into crowded area. And, obviously if I had that opportunity again or the next time it presented itself, just have a different outcome. But, I take responsibility for us not at least getting a shot up at the end of the game.
Jayson, what has made this such a challenging series to be able to get to your spots, make the passes you usually do, just be able to kind of have the impact you usually do? Is it something they're doing? Is it kind of something you're not able to get to right now? Like, what are you kind of seeing when you look at the film?
No, you got to give them credit. They've been playing well. But on the flip side, it's just taking ownership and knowing that you got to play better. And, I will.
Jayson, we know you guys don't go in thinking you're going to miss shots. You don't want to miss shots, but in the fourth quarter, you guys have just gone completely cold from three, from two, from everywhere. What goes into you had little problem scoring and building a 20-point lead. What has happened in the past two games where things have just fallen off a cliff for you guys?
I think, a lot of the shots that we got, we got some really, really good looks from three. We missed a lot of bunnies, a lot of layups. So, those are tough, because, guys work really hard on their game and their craft and prepare to be in those moments to hit open shots. And, it just hasn't happened the last two games. But, you can't lose your confidence. You got to, we just talked about it. When you're open, you got to shoot the ball. Don't worry about the last shot. Don't worry about the next shot. Shoot it with confidence. And, I'm sure that, they'll start falling soon.
And in these moments, now you're down 2-0. You're 2 games from your season being over. Each miss is magnified. That puts pressure on you guys. How do you guys stay in the moment, and how do you guys keep from kind of getting on each other? Because there would be a tendency to be like, as guys start taking shots and missing, maybe other guys who feel like they could make shots start to be like, hey, all right, let's move the ball, let's do this. How do you keep from losing what has gotten you here?
Right. We have a way that we play. We have an identity, and it can't waver just because we missing shots. We can't change who we are. And I always say you got to be the same person when things are going well and when things aren't going well. And it's not about our season being 2 games from over. Like that hasn't crossed any of our minds. We got a game on Saturday at 3:30. That should be a lot of fun. If you're a competitor, you should really look forward to that moment. And, just, right, we put ourselves in this position. And, we got a game on Saturday that, we all looking forward to.
Yeah.
Jayson, sort of sticking with that, you guys have been really good at that whole, leave the past in the past thing. But there's, natural frustration losing 2 games like this. What's the mental process of either putting that frustration aside or, using it in a positive way in a situation like this?
No, absolutely. We all human. Everybody was mad after game 1 and 2, right? We never want to lose. We aren't thrilled the way that we've played. So I'm not saying that nobody's frustrated, but the playoffs is like an emotional roller coaster. And, you can't get too excited or too down on yourself from game to game. The really good teams don't do that. So. Look in the mirror, understand that we put ourselves in this position. What has already happened has happened, and the only thing that we can't control is Thursday in Game 3, and it's going to be a good one.
Gary.
So you said just it's an emotional roller coaster in playoffs. How do you reach maybe some of your teammates, a fan base that's panicking right now? This was unexpected. You don't lose at home. You don't lose 2 in a row. You don't lose 2 in a row at home. You don't shoot 25% from 3. What words do you have that to your teammates or to yourself or to anybody that just says, okay, relax, like we're going to be okay?
I think just experience. Right, this group, a lot of us have been in so many different playoff situations and series. It's not like it's our first time. And sometimes you need to lean on that experience. That we've been in situations like this before, where we've had to get ourselves out of a hole, and we figured it out. So it's you can't look too far ahead. It's just we got one game on Saturday, and that's the most important thing because it's the next game.
I know that years ago, you remember that infamous Game 6, LeBron came here and they had to win. He had 45, and you're a Kobe guy, and there's been probably 20 games where Kobe had to win and just put himself in a different mindset and got the win. I don't know if you put pressure on yourself, but this is one of the bigger games. It's the spotlight. It's New York. Everybody's going to be there. Do you look at that and go, okay, Jayson, like I gotta show out?
I said it earlier. I take full ownership on the way that I've played in this series, and can't sugarcoat anything. I need to be better, and I expect to be a lot better.
Jay and then Adam.
You brought up your identity and how you have to play to it. Did you think you guys got away from that in Game 2? And then Joe said he thought you passed up some looks. After the way Game 1 went, did you maybe go too far the other way in Game 2? Like, how did that happen?
Yeah, I think human nature played a part a little bit. Maybe we felt like our shot wasn't falling, and we passed up some really good looks that normally we wouldn't think twice about. Excuse me. So, that's on each individual. That's on each other to, you see one of your teammates pass up a shot that, they should shoot, regardless if they're having a good night or a off-shooting night. That's on everybody to, communicate to one another like, yo, this is how we play. We can't be defined about makes or misses. It's the right way to play basketball, and, if you're open, you got to take the shot.
And Jayson, just kind of beyond the shot making, particularly in these second halves, what are you seeing where you feel like you guys need to be better? Where are kind of the areas that need to be cleaned up moving forward beyond like the make or miss stuff you talk about?
Our spacing at times could be a little bit better, just respecting each other's space, and just getting guys in the right spots, where they can be most effective, and just trying to do that more often than not.